This is quite a big day because we have a Christian hanging out in the Hindu office.
Okay, hang on.
With Sangeeta Carnatic.
Oh God. சும்மா ஸ்டாண்ட் அப்னு சொல்லி கச்சேரி தான் பண்றாரு. எப்படி இருக்குன்னா மூணு தடவை ஜெகதாந்தகா சொல்லிட்டு ஐயோ சொல்லிட்ட பாட போறானா இவன் போ.
இல்ல ப்ரொடியூசர் கொஞ்சம் கமர்ஷியலா எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்றாரு.
ஆமா. ஒரு ரெண்டு சாங் போடலாமா? ஓய்யா ஓய் அது என்ன ஓய்.
This is quite a big day because we have a Christian hanging out in the Hindu office.
Okay, hang on.
With Sangeeta Carnatic.
Oh God. That's a cop out, man.
And we are going to be talking about Sebastian and Sons. See where the world has come to. So that's where we are here. That's what is happening. That's why it's a big day. And of course, I'm very excited about interacting with Krishna. We have never spent time real. Of course, hi bye லாம் சொல்லிருக்கோம், messages லாம் அனுப்பிச்சிருக்கோம். I mean, of course, it's okay to have little Tamil, right? So, not that you have a choice. I roll into Tamil before I know it. So, this is the first time I get to interact with Krishna. Of course, I have a bunch of notes and stuff. But of course, it's going to be an impromptu kind of discussion. And feel free to jump in.
Absolutely.
That is okay. Krishna is okay with it. And before I go to Krishna, it's quite an honor to be in the Hindu office. It's a goosebump kind of a moment because you ask ChatGPT, we were talking about ChatGPT a lot. You go to ChatGPT and ask, tell me about the Hindu newspaper. It tells you the most respected newspaper in the country. And it's been around for 150 years. நம்மளே பாம் வச்சு நம்மளே எடுக்கிற மாதிரி.
ஒரே நிமிஷம், இப்பதான் ChatGPT நம்ப கூடாது நம்ம பேசிட்டு இருந்தோம்.
But it's quite I have to tell a quick anecdote, then we'll come to Krishna. So I studied in a Tamil medium school. Schooling along Tamil medium. So I'm touching 50 now. So 30 years ago, I joined college. You can imagine, Indian Engineering College in Anna University. And you can imagine, engineering you study in English. There were some multiple initiatives to make it all Tamil, still not there yet. And you can imagine, it's very intimidating experience. So everything is in English and you get lost and suddenly the city boys are conversing in English. And one of the sincere advices I got from my seniors as well as my own brother, which I have passed on to many, many people, which I think works is, my senior said, Machan, read Hindu paper every day. Don't just read, study the Hindu paper. Take the Hindu paper, don't feel shy, keep your dictionary, the Lifco English to Tamil dictionary, just don't feel shy, keep it next to it and finish the Hindu paper. Study it every day. ஒரு சிம்பிள் மேட்டரை கூட சொபிஸ்டிகேட்டடாக சொல்லிட்டு எழுதுவாங்க பாரு. Just and he said that I still remember. மச்சான், ஹிந்து பேப்பர் படிக்கிறதுக்கே நீ நல்லா படிச்சிருக்கணும் மச்சான். And it's been quite a dream. When I quit my job 10 years ago, in the comic circles, very often people would say, Machan, we are now artists, we are not engineers anymore, we are artists. And we should get reviewed by Hindu. Appa, that's when you feel arrived. Hinduல எப்படியாவது ரிவ்யூ வாங்கிடணும். அவங்க திட்டினா கூட பரவாயில்ல. பிகாஸ் அவங்க திட்டுறாங்கன்னு பெருசா ரொம்ப பேருக்கு தெரியாது. ஹிந்துல வந்துட்டா மச்சான், that's what people know. And ஹிந்துக்கே வந்தாச்சு இன்னைக்கு. So it's quite a moment. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Chitra, for thinking of me for this. And Krishna, it's quite an honor to converse with Krishna here today. And of course, Krishna wouldn't be surprised when I say this. Within my friend circle, acquaintances லாம் கூட போல, within my close friend circle, there are friends who admire Krishna and who, if I put it mildly, kannapinna critical of Krishna. And I have both the sides within my close circles. And I've been following Krishna. I've started learning Carnatic classical music about 25 years ago. Not that I'm like such a pro, I'm on and off. So I've been watching, I've been gone to Krishna's concerts and all that musically. So in this conversation, of course, this left and right side of this friendship circle has been happening for 10 years, of course, after Krishna has been very active in the activism side and talking about society and everything. And I've seen, and we have been having a lot of conversations. In a way, it's a success for Krishna, in my opinion. So we talk about it. We are still friends. And there have been some movement here and there, at least in some issues. With the but and if, however, with all that, there have been some moves. And I think that's a success. I think the conversation, every time a conversation happens, it's quite a success.
That's true.
And so I'm very happy to say I'm a big admirer of whatever you've been doing in this 10 years, Krishna. And I think I absolutely identify with the purpose, the equality as a core purpose there. Yeah. So I used to work for Amazon, and Jeff Bezos used to do this annual leadership meeting. All the leaders or the managers get to go in that meeting. It's of course quite a few managers, right? And one of the guys asked this question, Jeff, what are you worried about? What are you scared about? That was the question. He said, I worry that we'll over time. So this is about 8 years ago, and already Amazon was quite big. And he said, I'm worried that at some point, now that we are so big, we'll become very complacent. We'll stop asking questions. We'll stop hating being uncomfortable. As leaders, it's our job to be ready to be uncomfortable. He was saying that. And of course, he was talking about the human history briefly. Every time there was, he said some social cohesion was some word he was using. We humans tend to be very comfortable with social cohesion. And then somebody comes and rocks the boat. They call it rock. It's a common usage. Somebody comes and rocks the boat. It's very uncomfortable. But he's saying that's what we should be always be ready for. When we start being or start hating discomfort, we'll stop growing. I think what Krishna's, quoting many people saying about Krishna is also, he keeps rocking the boat. The moment he sees the boat, he has to go rock it. In the boat, he has summa irukku. And he starts rocking the boat. I think that's for the conversation. And I think that's for the growth. And thanks, Krishna. It's besides all the criticism that you hear, doing what you're doing, it's not an easy thing. And like you said in your speech, sometimes you said it gets lonely. And people say that you're doing it as if you are enjoying it. You're doing it for, standing out or what is that, fame and all that. But it can get very lonely, and we are all humans and we all like social cohesion. We all like our gang. So Krishna has been doing this. I'm here to tell you, big fan, big admirer.
That's very
Keep
sweet.
up the great work. You've been inspiring.
Thank you.
I have some questions. I don't know where to stop. Let me tell you. You definitely made me the self-inquiry, the Suya Parisodhana, that the phrase you keep using. I think you have made me do that. That's why I became a big fan of you, of your political work also. Because I'm touching 50 now, there have been enough people in my life at many stages to come and tell me, you have to be very careful about those people, people up there. They have a way to get you. You think they are friends. No. No. That's how they smile. Then they come around. At some point, all that story, there are enough stories I've heard. But there's never, I come from this, let's say, now that Krishna is here, everything's out in the open, right? We can say, I don't come from this bottom of most oppressed communities. So somewhere in the middle, let's say, the middle layer is huge, and even in software, everything is called the middle, right? So somewhere in the middle, there have never been many people coming and tell me how we have been doing many things that nobody tells us very often, not even in the films until recent times. Along with, I think the past 10 years have been path changing in that way also. So many creators talking about this. And I've never been told, I never questioned some of the things I was doing, some of the things we have been doing back home. Adula tappave theriyala. And definitely Krishna's self-inquiry and his writings and the way his commentary has been very, very helpful to make me, if I have to say, a better person. At least I've been trying. I don't. It's a work in progress. So thanks for rocking the boats all over.
Thank you so much. It's very, very kind of you. No. First of all, I must first thank the Hindu for getting us on one stage together, because I think we've been sending messages to each other once in a while, seeing each other at some event. But every time we want to meet, something or the other will happen and I won't show up. So it's completely on me. So needless to say, what I truly, we'll finish all this mutual admiration, then start, okay? So needless to say, I think what is important about what Alex does in his own way, he has found a tonality, if I can use that word, where he is, other than the fact that he sings and he speaks, all that kept aside, he's found a tonality in a field which I believe, and this is my commentary as always, which I believe that especially in the Indian English, quasi-English kind of stand-up work that they do, is either cop-out, where there's no tonality of making commentary, and you're able to find a tonality where you make the commentary, but yet people may not even know you're making the commentary, but they somehow get an experience of what you're trying to say. I think to hit that kind of a balance is very difficult. The easier thing that I see people doing is moving to the space of very safeness, talking about little things that everybody is happy about, that the common events in our life.
Hair and
Exactly. So I think that's quite phenomenal that you're able to find that space for yourself, and I think honestly, I think it's rare that in the Indian context especially, for stand-up comedians to find that space, make comments, and allow people to be uncomfortable, sometimes not even realizing they are uncomfortable.
Actually, I'll shuffle up my cards. Okay, that leads to that leads to one of the questions there. This whole, like they say, work on your craft so much that whatever you're trying to say becomes very palatable, or they don't even know that they're consuming. In a way, isn't that sugarcoating? Sometimes I feel guilty. Why? I mean, they're not kids, right? Just go tell what you want to tell, as opposed to இவ்வளவு ஆக்ட் எல்லாம் போட்டு தம்பி என்ன சொல்ல வர்ற நீ தானே அப்படின்னு ஒன் தே இட்ஸ் சம்டைம்ஸ் யூ டோன்ட் நோ வெதர் யூ சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லி யூனோ அந்த டொனாலிட்டி கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டோமா இல்லை வி ஆர் ஜஸ்ட் ட்ரைங் டு தே ஆர் கோயிங் டு சே எல்லாம் புரியுது தம்பி அப்படியே சொல்லிடு. So it's a very difficult.
No, but I think that it's also a personality thing, right? Because every person is very different. So for me, for example, many people have told me from so many years saying, you know, what you're saying is right, but can you say it nicely? Okay. I'm like, how can you say that nicely? I mean, I would love to use a different way of saying, how can we say that we dashed up nicely? It's not possible. I mean, because if I say that, then I'm not saying it. So the only way to say it is, there is a problem here. And that's in a part my personality too. I think it is a personality. At the same time, I think there's a difference between sugarcoating, where I think you don't want to say it actually, but you want to come out to be as a person who is, in today's parlance, shall we say, engaged and progressive. So you're trying to, there's also a market issue here. You have your market. You don't want to disturb your market. True. You want to make sure your market remains with you somehow. Therefore, you know, இது சொன்னா அவ்வளவுதான் அடுத்த கட்சி ஆளே வர போறதில்ல, அந்த பயம் வேற ஒன்று இருக்குல்ல. So then you say, okay, இது சொல்லலாம் ஆனா சொல்லாம சொல்லலாம். So that's a kind of a, I think that is a kind of a fraudulent way of doing it. This is my opinion. But I think there's a difference between this and finding your own mode of saying something. I think there are those, I don't think you can confuse the two. And I think there is also space for that. There's also space for finding your own language for it. I think there is space, because then everybody cannot speak the way I speak, or everybody should not be speaking the way you speak. So, and also in, shall we say, public action meaning word or action, there has to be different ways of pushing and pulling. Even I don't say everything on the face verbally. Sometimes it's in a song I sing. I don't say a word. Right. I'm just singing a song. But that's a different kind of an action that can trigger so many things in its own way. So there is strategy here. It's not done with naivety. There is strategy here. You know, certain things nera sonna da nadakum. Certain things you drop an issue and just let it play. You don't control. I think you have to have all these tools in your hand. Right. To be able to engage in a dynamic manner. Also remember that you are also participating. So you're also hopefully learning from this.
Right.
I mean, it's not like you realized everything, figured out the whole world and saying, "Paranga, ungalku onnum thera." No, we are saying we don't know.
Right.
Adu and awareness irukumbodhu, then I think the sugarcoating problem doesn't come. When you're not aware that you are as much part of the problem,
Right.
then you become a kind of a messiah, messenger, which is a fraud anyway.
Right. Right. As long as you are open to be questioned.
You have to be
You
questioned.
have to be.
You have to be vulnerable, perpetually vulnerable.
Yeah. As long as you're ready to change.
Yeah.
Being ready to change. And one of the things for you, I'm sure you hear a lot more than I hear. Like, you don't know the full thing.
Yeah.
The moment you say or premise, you don't know the full thing. And sometimes I tend to think by the time you know the full thing, I'll be gone.
Art close.
And I won't even say anything, man. So I'm like, I've told what I know. You tell me
Exactly.
what I missed.
No, it's very important.
So how do you cope with that question? Because you have to know, at some point you need to know, I think I fairly have an idea to go make a comment as opposed to.
Yeah.
In your Sebastian and Sons book, you are like all over, like exhausting, but
Yeah.
it looks like a 20 year of effort. You are like starting from this Palavandangal to
Everywhere,
Trichy,
yeah, it is
Thanjavur
something
and
else, yeah.
Palakkad and Andhra.
I still don't know, by the way. If you ask me, Sebastian Sons, you've written, you researched for 5 years, you spent hours and hours with makers, about 30 makers, 25 players. I've done all that. Do I know? Can I make a Mridangam tomorrow? No way.
But it's very well researched, and you can comfortably say, I know it all.
No, I can. I can very easily wax eloquent, but I can't, because I really don't know. What I'm actually doing there is trying to understand a world. A world which is a world of function, world of society, world of emotions, world of relationship. And I'm trying to say, okay, can I place myself in that environment and observe what is going on and try to understand the little things that happen there many times. Like, honestly, when I first thought of writing Sebastian Sons, I thought the world will be black and white. That story will be black and white. This is the truth.
Okay.
Because that's the convenient story. The convenient story is, I mean, nallavan kettavan. Who wins is not the question. There is one group. But only when I went through that entire journey of speaking to this number of people, you realize that it's not just a question of grey, but there is this very emotional negotiation that is happening between human beings.
Yeah.
Right? And that's changing very fast, even within themselves. And you're like, at one objective level, it's fascinating how we function as a society, because it's a microcosm how we function.
Right.
At another level, it is saddening, because, you know, everybody is limiting themselves in some fashion to conform to something. That actually, like, I actually, that book raised that very big question for me is, can you really love? Really love is a question that book raised me. If you and I are not equal, then can I really love you? Or if you and I don't feel equal, let's put it that way, not equal.
Don't feel, yeah.
Don't feel equal. And equality is not just a function of the Constitution of India. Or question of you being able to buy something from a shop. Equality is what you see the moment you see me, what I feel it. You feel it.
How I feel
ஒரு
it.
ஆளை பார்த்த உடனே
Absolutely.
we are அந்த ஒரு எடை போடுறோம். So, if you and I don't feel equal, can I really love you? If, say, I'm more powerful in that feeling, how much of my love for you is also the fact that I'm slightly more powerful than you? I don't think there's an answer to this, but I'm saying absolutely. It's quite a difficult question. So all relationships in society are negotiated through these little partitions, whether it is your lover, whether it is your children, whether it's your parents, whether it's your friends, or whether it's somebody. There is this entire negotiation of even the fundamental thing of affection. And I think that's a question that Sebastian Sons left me, and that's why I say I still don't know. I don't know.
But it's a fascinating book. I was thinking halfway through, it should be a Netflix documentary. How twists and turns, and there is so much of...
Actually, I mean, you're in the Hindu, so it's important. So when I first got to write that book, or rather research the book, it was completely new territory for me, because until then I had pretty much done ideational work. Just put my thoughts together, conceptualize, more abstract. This is the first time that I felt like I was a journalist. And I didn't have the tools for it. I didn't know how to ask a question, for example. How do you ask a question how do you even form the question so the person is comfortable answering the question? Where is that line drawn where that question should not be asked? I had no clue. And I was terrified as hell. I remember the first few interviews, I really didn't know, like, இப்படி கேட்கலாமா, இது கேட்கலாமா, கேட்டா எப்படி கேட்கறது, அவங்களுக்கு கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக இருக்குமா, சொல்லுவாங்களா. So first few interviews, I had a colleague of me coming with me. He is the guy who introduced me to many of the makers. Now, his first interview went, it was okay. I mean, the interview was there, everybody was happy with the interview. And the moment everybody is happy with the interview, you know the interview is bad. Because you know immediately there's something wrong here. But I didn't know what was wrong. Like, I didn't even know what was wrong. So I remember the third or fourth interview maker, in fact, the person who I'm speaking about just passed away 3 days ago, Raju, maker in Tanjore, one of the senior most makers from the Sebastian family, passed away 3 days ago. So I remember it was interviewing Raju sir, and I was in his house in the first floor. This person was with me. அப்படிங்க நல்லா நாங்கள் பண்ணுவோம் மிருதங்க எத்தனை வருஷம் பண்ணுங்க, அவருக்கு பண்ணியிருக்கேங்க, நல்லா எல்லாம் நல்லா இருக்குங்க, அவங்க இங்கே எடுத்து என்ன கூட்டிட்டு போவாங்க, எவ்வளோ பைசா கொடுப்பாங்க, இப்படியே பேசியிருந்தார். ரொம்ப நாள் இப்படி பேசியிருந்தார். சரி, நானும் மைக்கை வச்சு ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணேன். அப்புறம் திஸ் கொலீக் ஆஃப் மைண்ட் சரி, நான் வீட்டுக்கு போனேன், எனக்கு வேலை இருக்குன்னு கிளம்பினேன். என்ன சார் பண்ணாங்க இவங்க எனக்கு அப்படின்னு அடுத்த செகண்ட் மாறினார் பாருங்க. லைக், ஓ மை காட், திஸ் இஸ் லைக் அன்னியன். And that's when I realized that individual being with me was a burden for this entire conversation. The other flip to this is the Palakkad interview. I talk about it a lot. So Mridanga makers in Tanjore, you have Mridanga makers in different places.
Where you get one word answers.
Yeah. I go and sit with this man. Exactly. Perfect Kerala answer, no? They will not say anything. They won't smile. They won't say it's good, bad, ugly, nothing. They just go, So this guy, I'm talking to him 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Where are you from? Indian. He spoken Tamil. He said, I'm coming from Malayalam a little bit. 45 minutes, he said nothing. And I'm like, he'll say, எப்படி பண்ணுங்க, அதோ இப்படி பண்ணுங்க, அதோ அங்கே இருக்கு தோல், அங்கே எங்கே தஞ்சாவூர். I'm like, what am I going to do with this guy? You know, he does this after 45 minutes. I had almost said, okay, this is a dead interview. There's not much I can do about this. Leave it. He said, turned to me and said, tell me, what is the use of me giving you this interview? Is my life going to change one bit? Though he told me. So I said, sir, I'm sorry, but I don't think it will change. I mean, that's the truth. He said, then why should I talk to you? Tell me one reason I should talk to you.
Wow. Bad question.
I don't have an answer to that question. I said, you're absolutely right. You don't need to talk to me. You're right. I mean, am I going to change your life tomorrow? Is because you're talking to me, is your relationships which are so uncomfortable and uneven going to change? I don't think so. And I can't assure you anything. So then, but you know that the fact that he said that to me changed the interview.
Oh, wow.
Because 5 minutes later, he was comfortable having a conversation with me. So it was a lot of learning. I learned a lot.
Few more questions.
Okay.
So the water boat tree.
Oh my God.
I saw that word from your tweet. I don't know whether it's
Whataboutery.
It's a Hindu level word, whataboutery.
No, it's a constructed new word. It's a completely constructed
layman thing, not a Hindu thing. So
Hindu, if you use whataboutery at one time, I'm sure it will be considered bad English. I think now you guys have no choice, but
you get that often. I mean, even for my little work, I get, you talk about this, why don't you talk about this?
Why don't you talk about that? Do you know this happened, that happened?
And even for Alex in Wonderland, when I did, it was very... you wouldn't believe, for my initial set in the tester, I didn't have Rajinikanth set. There was... I had Kamal Haasan set because I'm talking about singers. And we go through Kamal Haasan as a singer, I'm celebrating him. Bro, நீ கமலை கலாச்சிட்ட, ரஜினியை கலாய்க்கலனா வெறியாயிடும். நாங்களாம் தீவிர கமல் ஃபேன்ஸ். கமலை கலாய்ச்சது ஓகே, பட் ஜஸ்ட் டூ அ பேலன்சிங் ஆக்ட். like, மச்சான், he's not a singer da. No, he sang one song, no, take it, no, do that. Then I brought in Rajinikanth saying, in some form, I mean, SPB is the force behind Rajinikanth.
Oh, abdi pote.
So I used Rajinikanth to glorify SPB, and it's kind of worked. It kind of worked.
But it's interesting that,
like, I've got comments after the first half. I was thoroughly pissed, but good, it was balanced, so I'm okay. Good. So people want balance.
Yeah.
You're an artist, be neutral. You talk about this one, how about that, the other one?
So I have one question, which means they agree with what you've said about one person, right?
That's what it
So
means.
that's the interesting part. When I
But
was
if they have not done the balancing act, they wouldn't agree.
no, but this is not true of all the cases also. So suppose you say something about X experience you have within your community, hypothetically. They say, why didn't this happen within that community? Why are you not saying that? So my first question is, okay, are we in agreement this happens here? Appo pinadi vaino, oy appadi na sollave illaya. Now, if you are in agreement this happens, then okay, let's keep that aside. We'll come back to that. So the point is not first they don't agree with this. It's not like that is, if say you comment about everything, எல்லாத்தையும் டிக் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா அதுக்கப்புறம் போய் கேளுங்க நான் எல்லாத்தையும் சொல்லிட்டேன் இது கரெக்டான இல்லை இது சரியில்லைன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So this whataboutery itself is a lie, because whataboutery is not an equalizer. Whataboutery is a distraction. That's the big problem for me.
Yeah.
It's a distraction from willing to engage with your world. You don't want, there's another thing to whataboutery. The other thing about this constant thing is that you also can keep pushing the post. The moment you have get into whataboutery, the post can be moved anywhere.
Which one? What post?
The post.
Okay.
இதான் ஆர்குமெண்ட்னா அது தள்ளிண்டே வரலாம்.
Okay, okay.
எங்க வேணா போலாம் அது. கடைசியில நம்ம என்னத்தை பத்தி பேசுறோம் நம்மளுக்கே மறந்து போயிடும்.
My musical experience, when I first saw you.
You learned from Suguna
Purushottam.
Correct. That's what I remembered. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I started learning about 25 years ago, I'm talking like an old uncle.
சரி அலெக்ஸ், இன்னைக்கு ஒரு கர்நாடிக் பாட்டு ஏதாவது பாடணும் நீ.
Shoo. No. ஒரு வார்த்தை சொல்லி
ஸ்ருதி பாக்ஸ் இருக்கு.
ஸ்ருதி பாக்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையும் இருக்கு. So this is quite a few years ago. I started learning Carnatic classical music. I started learning from Raghavan Maniyan.
Oh, you're from Raghavan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and the mandate was go listen to a lot of kacheris. Because it's very hard to sit through a kacheri. I can listen to few songs here and there if they are in Tamil. I can't listen to Ragam Tanam Pallavi those days. And then of course I used to go towns and attend, and I had a chance to come to Salt Lake City.
Oh, so my God, that's ages ago.
Ages ago. So I was there. Tyagaraja festival there, Utsavam was happening. It's a very small town. It's a very small auditorium, much smaller than this. That's when I saw T.M. Krishna for the first time. And I can't forget that afternoon. He sang as if he's singing to a stadium filled with people. I was like, என்னையா இந்த சவுண்ட் போற? I couldn't believe.
20 பேர் இருந்திருப்பாங்க.
I mean the room was full, but then a very small room.
Yeah, I remember this.
You were performing for 3 hours, and I fell in love with listening to a kacheri that day. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know this. Thank you.
So so that's how I mimic Krishna. He sang that opening. I was like, ஏங்க இதே வாய்ஸ்ல இன்னும் 3 மணி நேரம் பாடுவாரா? How will he manage? How is that even humanly possible? It was just abday. He was singing to a stadium filled with people. And before that, I mean, of course, my limited exposure to, for me, the Carnatic music means Madurai Somu.
Of course.
Madurai Somu means only one song. Not that I've listened to any kacheris. Kodi malaigalile kodukku malai endha malai pa 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 pa. For me, that is nadi yadigara dagalam.
Yep.
For me, that's all okay. There is Rendangalam. There is wow. That is Carnatic music. And when I listened to you, I told my friend Raghavan, Madurai Somu ketta mari irukku Raghavan. And he said, man, that's a compliment. He said, Madurai Somu is
great man. Very great man.
And there was Thiruvarur Bhaktavachalam.
Yes.
And these guys played like a rock concert. You know, you wouldn't believe. It was not like a Carnatic subdued concert. It was like a rock show. And this is one of my earliest kacheris. So
wow, that is 2005, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was 5, yeah.
5. So when they sing, sometimes I'm starting to identify Swaram slowly after 25 years. When they sing Ga, and when I feel Ga, I get a high. Wow, நமக்கு வந்துருச்சு. ஸ்வரஸ்தானம் வந்துருச்சுடா. So
what did you learn from Suguna Purushottam? Tell me that.
What did I learn?
எது வரைக்கும் what did you progress until?
She realized in the first meeting that I love Tamil. She taught me only Tamil songs. Some Bharatiyar, only Sami Thuran, only Tamil songs.
பாருங்களா? என்ன சுருதிங்க?
Oh, ஐயோ. So this is we are going to sing a nice like boat song and all.
No, but that will come to. But என்ன ஸ்ருதி?
ஸ்ருதி விடுங்க.
ஸ்ருதிக்கு இருங்க, ஸ்ருதிக்கு நிறைய மீனிங் இருக்கு.
We are holding up all the Hindu folks. நாளைக்கு பேப்பர் வருமா வராதா? I have a feeling some parts will be empty.
100%.
There is a very popular Seinfeld joke. I can't share it anywhere else. They wouldn't get it. So Seinfeld joke you heard, no? I told Navneet. Like he tells, I can't believe how everything that happens in the world today will exactly fit into the newspaper tomorrow. There is nothing more to say. There is nothing less that happens. I'm trying to stay away from that.
I'm holding on. என்ன ஸ்ருதி? C.
D only.
D. D சக்க போடுங்க.
Oh my God, what a poor audience here. I mean, I don't know. I feel sad.
If I know the song, I'll join. If I know the song.
சண்முக பிரியா பாடுங்க.
நல்லா விளையாட்டுங்க. இது உலக மகா fraud இது.
டீச்சர் டெல்லிங் சண்முக பிரியா கொஞ்சம் பாடு பண்ற மாதிரி. கிருஷ்ணா சங்கீத கலாநிதி இது வாங்கிருக்கேன்.
என்ன பாட்டுங்க?
I'm trying to remember the first line.
சண்முக பிரியா ராக் கன்ஃபார்ம்ட்.
ஆமா. அந்த
சரவண பவா.
வாழி நதருள் வாழி அப்படி முடியும். அன்னை வாழி நதருள் வாழி அம்மா நின்னை சில வரங்கள் கேட்பேன் அப்படின்னா
பாடுங்க. எனக்கு தெரியாதுங்க பாட்டு.
நின்னை தட்ஸ் இட்.
நின்னை சரணடைந்தேன்.
நின்னை சில வரங்கள் கேட்பேன் அவை நேரே எனக்கு இன்று தருவாய்.
பாடுங்க.
I didn't expect this at all, producer.
அதான் பிளான் பண்ணவானா சொன்னேன்ல.
நின்னை சில வரங்கள் கேட்பேன் அம்மா நின்னை சில வரங்கள் கேட்பேன் அவை நேரே நமக்கு தருவாய் அம்மா நின்னை சில வரங்கள் கேட்பேன் அவை நேரே நமக்கு தருவாய் முன்னை தீய வினை பயன்கள் முன்னை தீய வினை பயன்கள் என்னை மூளாதழிந்தொழிதல் வேண்டும் முன்னை தீய வினை பயன்கள் என்னை மூளாதழிந்தொழிதல் வேண்டும் அம்மா நின்னை சில வரங்கள் கேட்பேன் அவை நேரே இன்றமக்கு தருவாய்.
பலே சபா கல்ச்சர்ல பலே தான் சொல்லணும்.
பலே குழந்தை திவ்யமா பாடிட்டு என்ன பண்ண
என்ன பாவங்க.
No, I get that it feels good. I have gone to all the what is the Navaratri thing, the Golu thing, you sing, you get appreciate, you get a high, man. நீ எவ்வளவு மோசமா பண்ணாலும் the aunties will tell you how
அது அலெக்ஸ் ஏனா உன்னோட மோசமா பாடு யாரா வந்திருப்பாங்க.
they'll tell you ரொம்ப நல்லா பாடுன உனக்கு நல்லா வர்றது நீ கத்துக்கோ. So you can take it either way. Go learn. So we should talk about your outfit.
This one?
Generally. Like in Pamal Ke Sambandham film, Kamal Haasan tells Simran, உங்களுக்காக தானங்க இப்படி நான் சாயம் போன சட்டையெல்லாம் போட்டு வந்துருக்கேன். சாயம் telling Krishna, உங்களுக்காக தான் பூ போட்ட சட்டையெல்லாம் போட்டு வந்துருக்கேன். பூ போட்ட சட்டையெல்லாம் போட்டு. So I think, yeah, it makes a statement. There is a way to, and it has its own tone and everything. You wore the lungi, which you corrected later, saying it's a saram.
It's the same. It's the same actually.
ஆனா சாரம்னு கரெக்ட்லாம்
ஆனா கரெக்ட் தான். அதுவும் கரெக்ட் இதுவும் கரெக்ட்.
இது கரெக்ட்.
எப்படி வேணா சொல்லிக்கலாம்.
ஒரு சாரம், it made a statement and it makes sense and I like that. இது எப்படி, when did you first realize those jibbas, sell it all, Sangeeta?
If she heard you say she'll kill you, why should she sell it? I should sell it. So no, I first had a very practical reason. மேல உட்கார்றேன், ஜிப்பா முட்டி வரைக்கும் வருது. உட்கார்ந்த அப்புறம் பாதி ஜிப்பா தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது யாருக்கும்.
வேஷ்டி திரும்ப அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்றது கஷ்டம்.
ஆமா, பெரிய ப்ராப்ளம்.
இன் கேஸ் இட்ஸ்
நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரியாது.
இன் கேஸ் இட்ஸ் ஆஃப் யூ டோன்ட் நோ.
ஆமா. You might not know till you get up. That's the greatest fear.
But then you're covered, right?
I am not really. So I've always liked colors. So I am not, there's no color I will not wear. I've always liked to dress which is not matching or not going with one another. I don't have any problems with all that.
Nice.
So that's pretty much what I have always been. So subdued is not the word you will use with me in general. So and on stage I think there is also, see, what dress we wear is greatly governed by so many habits of what we believe is appropriate for which place, enga edu podalam. To me that doesn't make any sense. By the way, I've been wearing saram lungi or sarong for many years now, to be very clear. This is not, I mean, for actually 7-8 years, all around the world. Nobody has said anything.
That's what you think. Everybody is saying.
But I like clothes. Simple as that. I like colors. I like flowers. I like crazy designs.
Awesome.
To the point my daughters are absolutely embarrassed by me.
I thought you share clothes with your
No,
daughters.
no, right. So this
This is almost like.
I used to share earrings with my wife. No, I used to share earrings. When I had a earring, I used to flick my wife's earrings. So I used to flick all of them. But clothes, my daughters are not in agreement with me.
Don't touch.
If they see any photograph, like, oh my God, how can you dress like this? You're an embarrassment. So,
ouch. Krishna is fit, man. You're fit. And one of your students told me, don't ask who. He said when Krishna walks into the gym, he becomes an animal. He said.
That's not true, but anyway.
Huh? Is that not true?
Not true. But I do.
Like,
My
go
big
crazy on the range of Solinar.
Yeah, my big passion is I'm a mountaineer.
Ah.
So I'm an amateur mountaineer, to be very specific. So I climb at least one high altitude mountain a year. I've tried to. So the moment you're doing that, that's an obsession. அது ஒரு தரம் அந்த obsession வந்துதுனா நீங்க you will not stop it.
Yeah.
You will not stop it. You will just want to climb another mountain. I've climbed 8 mountains.
Lovely.
Summited 6. So every year if I have to do that, I have to train. அது வந்து நீங்க அதுக்கு முன்னாடி 2 மாசம் மட்டும் that doesn't work. You have to train through the year some regimen. So I somehow find time 4 days a week at least, do something. You just have to do it. Yeah, that's all. Absolutely. You just have to do it. And I'm telling you, it helps. People don't realize it helps your singing.
Absolutely.
Incredibly helps your singing. Just how much it helps is unbelievable. The way I believe that as I got fitter, my voice actually range opened. This is I have no way to prove it, but this is what I believe very strongly, that when I got fitter, the actual range opened to incredible amounts. And I just think it is because I was breathing better. And for climbing, breathing helps also. So absolutely. It works both ways.
And the voice does, when you sing, I felt in the very first concert, I feel it even now.
Too loud, no?
Full, no. Full throttle.
Yeah.
Full throttle.
I think that is completely, that is genetic, I think. My granddad apparently had a very loud voice. My family, everybody is loud. It's like, soft ah pesa, na villa soft ah pesra ungita apdi dhaan pesuva enga veetla softness nu or word ku meaning e kediyadu.
Does it, do you exhaust yourself, the voice?
No.
Huh?
See, aduna I think
going, huh?
No, people make
you should do like a big Guinness record or something, like keep singing.
So actually I missed a Guinness record. Honestly missed. I'll tell you what I missed. Which one I missed? So I suddenly, out of just curiosity, I googled to see, because I sing on every summit. When I climb and I summit a mountain, I try singing for at least 2 minutes. Every mountain. And I just googled to see, okay, which is the highest altitude a musician has performed. And I saw this thing for 2021 or 22 on Aconcagua. I think this lady played the violin. I summited Aconcagua in 2019 and sang on it. I just didn't record it. So technically, I should have got that Guinness record and not this person.
Is that harder to sing there? I mean,
no, it's in.
Why is it a big deal? Go there and sing. No?
It's hard. திருப்பி போக சொல்றீங்களா?
இல்ல generally.
Yo,
is it?
It's very hard. No, it's actually fatigue. So climbing a mountain, you're climbing for about 10 hours, 11 hours. 11 hours, you're exhausted. But there's also a high, right? Your adrenaline is like very, very high. It's kicked. So it kind of compensates for it. I've never felt breathless while singing, but you're tired. You're emotionally, you're just full emotionally at that
Right.
point of time. Voice volume என்றது இப்போ tired நீ கேட்டிங்கல்ல, voice tired ஆகுது.
Exhaustion.
It's got to do with how you use your voice. And அதுக்கு தான் I think the teacher sometimes helps. See, when you have a teacher who has very good voice culture, you're lucky. Because initially you're just imitating that person. You don't know mechanics.
Right.
So you imitate some good voice production, you'll get good voice production. Right? And also, I think in the previous generations, nobody articulated this very clearly. They didn't tell you now the chest voice, throat voice, head voice, use nasal. That time nobody articulated it. And sometimes it works both ways. If you had a teacher who didn't have great voice culture, it works the other way. For me, my teacher who was from Andhra had incredible voice. All I did was imitate his voice. So when you actually allow when you just open your entire voice and you just let the sound go, there's no strain at all. Number back length will do one push. அப்படினு பண்ற மாதிரி. And the push நீங்க பண்ணீங்கன்னா, then you will not last more than 45 minutes. Then it's a strain for the voice. So it's got to do with how you produce. I've always said that when you produce well, the volume, the voice, what I will call the voice reach, is much more. It's like almost letting the sound go. You have to let the sound go.
That's awesome.
And also shoulder, relaxed. Your shoulder should be in great shape. You're using your neck. So yeah, but ultimately, singers are abusing a set of muscles. Just like runners are abusing one set of muscles, singers are abusing a set of muscles. So that is why as you grow old, your pitch will drop. Or even if it doesn't drop, you must be smart enough to drop it. Just like you sportsmen change their batting technique. So when sportsmen, you had, for example, when I have a sportsman with say great technique, but great eyesight, that batsman, for example, as they grow older, their eyesight will drop. Their technique will cover it for them. They'll allow, the technique also is flexible enough to adjust for this new visual situation. If you have a cricketer who is incredible eyesight, but technique is not there, invariably that cricketer fails once they grow a little older. Because they don't have the technique to adjust for what age is doing. And there are many examples of that, of people who have got great eyesight. Yeah, it's a great example. Shivag is a great example, a person who had incredible hand-eye coordination, right? But away from the body, but that worked. The moment age catches up, this is slower. You're seeing the ball that microsecond late. You are going to be late, you're going to edge, or it's going to come through the gap. It's the same thing for musicians. You just have to learn to adapt to a new physical condition, which means your music changes too. The way you sing changes. Your aesthetic makeup changes. So maturity in solrangalla, actually it's also got to do with a lot of physiology of how you change in your body as you grow older. Just have to.
Wow, thank you.
Jagadananda Karkara.
That's a long song.
Oh, you won't hear it, no? Sure. Do one.
It's a long song.
I'll just think.
I mean, the sense...
அதாவது இது எப்படி இருக்குன்னா 3 தடவை ஜெகதானந்தகா சொல்லிட்டு ஐயோ சொல்லிட்டு பாட போறானா இவன் இப்போ ஜெகத நந்தகரக ஜெகத நந்தகரக ஜெகத ஆனந்த கரக ஜெகத ஆனந்த கரக ஜய ஜானகி பிராணநாயக ஜய ஜானகி பிராணநாயக ஜெகத நந்தகரக
Wow. That's how you fill the room. Awesome. Time for the boat song? Okay, Krishna sir. Krishna rocks the boat, sir.
Correct.
We wanted to sing Ilayaraja, and I asked him, Puve Ilaya Puve. He said he doesn't know the song. I was offended. Of all the things in the world, how can he not know the song? But then we have chosen this one, which I think suits Krishna.
I didn't realize that the boat was, that was the plan.
Put your hands together, everybody.
Nila Adhu Vaanathu Mele, Palanadu Odathu Mele. Nila Adhu Vaanathu Mele, Palanadu Odathu Mele. Vandaadu Thedudu Onna Hoya hoy, Adu enna hoy, Hoya hoy, Adu enna hoy. Poludana podum, Thoda onnu venum, Elagala aatam, Vidinjatham podum. Nila Adhu Vaanathu Mele, Palanadu Odathu Mele. Vandaadu Thedudu Onna Hoya hoy, Adu enna hoy. Ba 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 ba, ra ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. நரியில ஒரு நரி கிழ நரிதான், இங்கு ஆடுற நரியில பல நரி குள்ள நரிதான். ஓடுற நரியில ஒரு நரி கிழ நரிதான், இங்கு ஆடுற நரியில பல நரி குள்ள நரிதான். பொண்ணுக்கும் பொண்ணுக்கும் அடிதடிதான், மண்ணுக்கு போகிற உலகத்துல பசிக்குது பசிக்குது தினம் தினம்தான், தின்னா பசியது தீந்துடுதா. அடியாத்தாடி நான் பாட்டாளி உன் கூட்டாளி. Nila Adhu Vaanathu Mele, Palanadu Odathu Mele. Vandaadu Thedudu Onna Hoya hoy, Adu enna hoy.
குடிக்கிற ஆட்டத்தை கரையில பாத்து திரையில பாத்து குடிக்கிற ஆட்டத்தை
திரையில பார்த்திருக்கேன். அஜும் அஜும் விசில் அடிக்கிற கூட்டத்தில் திரையில ஆடி இருக்கேன். அஜும் அஜும் ஆஹா குடிக்கிற ஆட்டத்தை திரையில பார்த்திருக்கேன். அஜும் அஜும் விசில் அடிக்கிற கூட்டத்தில் திரையில ஆடி இருக்கேன். அஜும் அஜும் காட்டுல மேட்டுல உழைச்சவன் ஆடிட பாடிட வேண்டாமா, வறுமையும் கொடுமையும் பார்த்தவன் தானும் ஒடிகள வறுமையும் வேண்டாமா. அடியாத்தாடி நாம் பாட்டாளி உன் கூட்டாளி. Nila Adhu Vaanathu Mele, Palanadu Odathu Mele. Nila Adhu Vaanathu Mele, Palanadu Odathu Mele. Vandaadu Thedudu Onna Hoya hoy, Adu enna hoy. Poludana podum, Thoda onnu venum, Elagala aatam, Vidinjatham podum. Nila Adhu Vaanathu Mele, Palanadu Odathu Mele. Vandaadu Thedudu Onna Hoya hoy, Adu enna hoy, Hoya hoy, Adu enna hoy.
All right. Super. Sangeeta Kalanidhi, Team Krishna, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.